Ladies and gentlemen, for the current opposition leaders to remove President William Ruto from power, the first assignment that they must get right is the candidate, the flag bearer, the person who will represent their arrangement in the ballot. And when I say the person, then this is a complete pair of a presidential candidate and his or her running mate. This person must be a symbol of national unity. This person must be sellable. This person must be accepted across the country. Then, step 2, they will now strategize on how to galvanize their votes. And in the meantime, they need to consolidate their regions. And that is the big question. That is the elephant in the room. As we speak now, everyone sees President William Ruto as the easiest president to ouster from the office. Each one of us agrees that the president is the most unpopular candidate at the moment. But do you know, removing him from power needs a solid candidate, a composed candidate, a patriotic, a nationalist, a person who can articulate the agendas of the opposition very well. And that is the person I want to talk about. But ladies and gentlemen, before I give you my thoughts and opinion, kindly listen to this video of Kisii Senator Richard Onyonka today at Nation Media Group in their popular show, Fixing the Nation.
On the presidential ballot in 2027,
yes,
what would you like to see? What two names would you like to see on that ballot?
If Fred Matiangi is given the opportunity to become president of Kenya, I believe that his mind and conscience is at the position where he can't take it any lower than it is. If Kalonzo Musyoka is president of the Republic, I will sleep well. All right. I think his experience, his time in government, he has served Raila, he has served Kibaki, he has served Moi. Those servings he did with these regimes, all he needs to do is now is combine that and understand what were the biggest challenges and what were the opportunities missed. So my honest observation that, and indeed, you're making me maybe to be hanged by my friends. Why am I mentioning these names? I think all the people, I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I love Eugene Wamalwa. I think he's a person who's great. He speaks well. He articulates. He's clean.
Those are words that are said by someone who's like, but those two names you've said.
I think the front runners are
Kalonzo
either Kalonzo Matiangi or Matiangi and Kalonzo.
Okay.
That's where we are.
No Martha.
No, Martha,
because
you see what we are
because
trying...
Rigiji has said mountain has...
No, what we are trying to see, even Rigiji can be president. You see, what I'm trying to say is this. We have all learned the mess we created. And all these people are actually going through their guilt trip. We are going through our guilt trip. How can we fix our country? How can we pick it up and put it in a position where it's a country that will be respected?
So after listening to Onyonka's preference ticket is at the Matiangi Kalonzo ticket. That is his opinion. But what about your thoughts? But before I proceed, whoever is coming across this channel for the first time or our videos for the first time, please, we have a mission. We have something to achieve. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and do not forget to click the notification bell once you have subscribed. And to our subscribers, we want to appreciate your support and we want to thank you and to invite you also to share your opinion on the comment section, because these are just my thoughts. These are not laws. These are not binding truth. These are just opinion like any other person opinions. But my opinion is based on the evidence on the ground. Looking at Kalonzo or Matiangi Kalonzo ticket, I see it can work going with the current political trend, going with the mood, assessing the temperature. Then Matiangi Kalonzo is the best ticket for now. I know a lot of things might be put on check. Some factors must be critically scrutinized. For example, the vote is a critical issue, because what are people fighting for? The votes, because it is the votes that will determine who goes to State House and who comes out of the State House. Number two, once you have these votes, you must have a strategy on how to go through the election process, because election is a process. Election is not on the voting day. Election starts now. Voters' education, voters' registration, voters' mobilization. Number three, the resources. Campaigns, more so presidential campaigns, are very expensive. For you to have a well-oiled campaign machine, you must have something to do with 4 billion presidential campaign to run around this country, and even more than that. But now there are ways to source this money. There are ways to raise the funds to finance presidential campaign, through donations or fundraising and personal fundings from the presidential candidate. And when you look at the duo, Matiangi might not have much of wherewithal to bankroll this campaign, but through the goodwill and the support of the people who think that he is the best bet, people can bet their money on him. Some also can check the political temperature, the trends, the mood, and how the wind is moving. Then they can bet their money on Matiangi. So I think, being the most popular candidate by now, there are those who are just willing to bankroll his campaign, to give him finances, vehicles, to print for him the posters, to give him the choppers to traverse this country. I think when it comes to money, the billionaires will just come out to support. Even the poor will just support through fundings. Votes. Matiangi right now have votes of the youths. And youths have no tribe. They have no party. They cut across the country. And they are so universal. Hence, if Matiangi attracts them and persuades them that indeed he is equal to the task, then I know the votes will come. On Kalonzo, Kalonzo has proven beyond the reasonable doubt that he can bring on board always around 2 million to 2 point something. He has done that more than 4 times. Himself, he managed to garner almost 1 point something million in 2007. That one grew in 2013 when he supported Raila Odinga, 2017 when he worked with Raila Odinga, and 2022 when he worked with Raila Odinga. Therefore, his votes are solid and cannot be doubted. Matiangi has votes of his own, though he has never run for elective position, but going with the current gossip around the corridors of power, there are votes which is solid somewhere, just waiting for him to announce or to be made a candidate, and therefore they will give him their votes. So I think with the support of Rigathi Gachagua, who is constantly behind Kalonzo Musyoka, and with the solid votes of Uhuru Kenyatta, who is constantly behind Fred Matiangi, then I think the duo can make it. But what if it goes the vice versa? Kalonzo Matiangi? Then we'll say something about that later. But in the meantime, let me stop there. I don't want to choke you with much information, but just in the meantime, have that for today. Thank you, and may God bless you.